What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Camps channel. I'm Justin Davis. Today we're going to talk about what might be the best controller for a beginner, somebody just starting out. We're going to talk about two of the best right here in this review, and we're going to give you an overview of the new Radiomaster T8 Pro versus something like the Jumper T-Lite. So let's talk about this. Which radio should you get for the price and for the functions? Now, a lot of you guys want a 4-in-1 multi-protocol module, and that just means that you're going to get about 100 different protocols. If you're looking for something that has the max amount of binding options for it, we're going to talk about that today in this video, and we're going to talk about what the T8 Pro has and what it doesn't have versus some of the other popular radios out there. We're going to talk about price, we're going to talk about size, reliability factor possibility, and we're going to talk about just the overall functions of each of these radios in comparison and just give you a full overview. And by the end of this video, you should know which one might be best for you. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one out of the bunch, the T8 Pro. Alright guys, before we really jump into it, be sure to make your comment, let me know where you're from down below, and subscribe on the channel. You got to be a subscriber to win this giveaway. It's coming up soon in June. We're going to announce it early next week. Insta360 goes up for grabs along with the Firefly from Cinewhoop. So this is a little hexacopter, and it will be shipped free to your door. One lucky subscriber is going to win this. So subscribe and make your comment down below. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this. First of all, we've got to talk about the price here. The price currently for the T8 Pro running on 2.4 gigahertz, it has the CC2500 chip in there, meaning it has minimal protocols versus a full-blown 4-in-1 chip that's going to give you more protocols. Now, this one also does not do DSMX, so if you're moving over from Spectrum, this one's not going to work out with Spectrum. This one will do DSM2 and DSMX, so that might be a deal breaker for you. But we're going to talk about form function factor here, and first of all, price is $89 for the T8 Pro, and that includes the flip-up screen. There's also the regular T8 version, but I would probably just get the Pro version because the price difference there is not a whole lot. But this one's currently priced at $70 for the T-Lite from Jumper. So it seems that Radiomaster came out with the T8 series in competition to be that small size format, that sort of game controller size format with sort of full size sticks. I like both of these radios better than the FR Sky series that came out. The x-lite series, not that great because I felt like the gimbals were a little bit small. One other thing is the screen format function here. This one is a little harder to navigate, I feel like, versus the T8 Pro. We're going to get into that in just a minute, but these are just some of my first impressions right away that maybe some of the other reviewers didn't catch on to. I do like the fact that this does have Hall gimbals. This one has a tighter stick feel versus this one has a more of a loose stick feel, but for beginners that might be harder for you, and a tighter stick feel, it's going to go back to center quicker for you, and it's just going to be more rigid and solid control. This one's going to be more flippy dippy for freestyle. Also, one other thing that I noticed right away was that they do have full-size switches on the Jumper T-Lite, which means you can replace these switches with some stock style switches, which is nice. These are going to work on even some of the full-size Jumper radios and the Radiomaster radios like the TX16. And the other big elephant in the room is, why would you choose one of these controllers over something like the TX12? The TX12 is about what, $5 more or $6 more for that. This one's $89.99. So it's a little bigger radio. It's a mid-size radio, and these are smaller nano style radios. But I feel like if you're going to spend $90 on a T8 Pro, why not just go ahead and get the TX12? I've talked about that one before. That one's also by Radiomaster. And if you're worried about using a simulator, these will work, and all of these will work with simulator. They do have a port in the very top right here, but this radio also has a 1S battery. It's an internal battery, and again, another big comparison for me is the fact that the Jumper radio uses an 18650 in the back. So this comes off and you can pop another one in there, which is nice. So if you're on the go, and you're in the field and your battery dies, you got another 18650 with you, you can swap it out. Whereas this one, you're going to have to hook up the USB-C cable to that charge port on the very top up here and recharge the battery. So that's one thing also to think about. This one also has smaller switches on there, which is great. And I felt like the navigation menu here worked out pretty good. And hopefully you guys can see that right there, but it's not confirmed yet that this module bay works. We know that this one works, but also since both of these radios are running a 1S battery, not really going to be able to get above 1 watt. And so that's going to be a little bit of an issue there for people that are running crossfire light type of module bays, so module receivers. So that's one thing to think about if you're looking for something for crossfire support. You might want to go with the jumper T-Lite because this one is known to work. And just also, this one has sort of a nice soft silicone sort of feel on the outside of it. This one feels like just a standard plastic mold, like an ABS mold, but it does have a little bit of grip on the back, but I don't feel like this one feels quite as good in my hands. And the bottom part seems to be a little bit large. And maybe it's because I've been using my jumper T-Lite. And if you have bigger hands, this is probably going to be better for you. And I gotta say, Radiomaster does win when it comes to screen size and navigation. Their screen is easier to read and easier to see than the jumper T-Lite. It just is. Navigation is also easier with the T8 Pro. I just felt like this was much more intuitive and quicker to work with, whereas this one, I have to remember sometimes where I'm going with these buttons. All the trims are down below here, and the up down is here, return and enter is here. But when you go to bind, you actually have to press model to get back to the bind button, because when you're pressing up and down, and stay with me here, it gets a little weird because it skips over bind. Then you have to press model and then it'll go to bind. Just one little trick there with this one that seemed a little bit weird, but on the very top of this one, they also have the USB-C charging port there, so you can charge this 18650 Li-on pack outside the radio, which is cool, or inside the radio. So internal or external charging there. And we have the trainer port on the very top there as well, for you can hook up to any type of simulator, headphone port. And again, these are a little looser sticks, but you can see the screen is much smaller there, and system and model are there. Speakers down bottom, and firmware updates here, and the SD card support right above the antenna. Also, I'm looking through the Radiomaster T8 here, and I'm looking for where it's going to allow me to change from internal to external. And right here it says multi, and let's see, let's go ahead and see if we can change it. We can turn internal RF off. So we can go down to the type. So let's just run through the protocols that it has on here. We've got FlySky. It will do Corona, FlySky Corona, FlySky RX. We have FrSky X, FrSky X2, FrSky L. We have High-Tech, HOTT, Radio Link, Red Pine, SFHSS protocol. We have Sky 8 RTC, and I believe that's it, guys. There, so way less protocols than what we have on the T-Lite. And I was talking about the external module bay. We're not sure that it works with the T8 Pro. When we switch our internal RF off for the mode, external RF shows up down here in this menu on a T-Lite. So that's something to be noted there, and I'm not sure anyone else has shown that yet, but it does turn automatically to external RF here. And I have to say, one other note here is that if you're looking for the brightest screen, I think that the T8 Pro has the brightest screen in between the two of these. You can kind of see that here on the video. This one also has a smaller screen, but and again, I said that this one was around $70. That's for the CC2500 version. The actual JP 4-in-1 version of this one is $85. So I mean, we're looking at a dollar difference, or $4, $5 difference between the JP 4-in-1 module with like 100 protocols versus this one that has around 10. So maybe not even 10 on here, and it doesn't support Spectrum or Futaba. So that's a big consideration in between both of these two radios. So if you're looking at the JP 4-in-1 version of this one, you're going to get all the protocols. You want to get mode 2 with throttle on the left if you're in North America. If you're over in the EU and some of you guys fly mode 1, that means throttle on the right. So pay close attention to that when you're making your order. Really important. But that one's going to be $86 versus $89 with a working module bay in the back. External battery support, 18650. Internal battery here. Nice flip up screen, up and down. But again, it does press the buttons if you push it down, and it's still on. You can take this screen off as well. If you set it up for a kid and you don't want them to fiddle around with things, you can take that screen off. This one's going to stay on there, but in my opinion, I would go with the Jumper T-Lite with the JP 4-in-1 multi-protocol module over the T8 Pro. So I feel like this one could use an overhaul coming up in the fall maybe. But still, I mean, not a bad radio if you have already made your order, but for what I would do, I would choose the T-Lite. So yeah, that's my honest opinion. And quick overview of the T8 Pro versus the Jumper T-Lite series, and big competition out there for all these companies. So please do subscribe if you want more honest reviews on the channel, guys, and make a comment. Let me know where you're from down below as well, and get entered to win that Insta360 Go and the Flywoo Firefly coming up. Guys, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.